hit Stone Ridge or what kind of pine wood box I end up in. Feel just like I'm living someone else's life.
At 48, Blake Shelton has finally broken his silence, and the revelations are shocking. For years, fans, tabloids, and social media buzzed with speculation about his private life, yet he remained quiet, dodging questions and letting rumors swirl. But now, Blake has chosen to speak, confronting the truths that have followed him through fame, music awards, and sold-out tours. The confessions go deeper than anyone expected, exposing emotions, decisions, and situations that fans never saw behind the spotlight. People have long admired Blake for his charm, voice, and talent, but few realized the weight of the personal struggles he carried alongside his career. The rumors that once seemed distant gossip have now been acknowledged by Blake himself, revealing vulnerabilities and truths that are raw, human, and deeply emotional. This is not just a celebrity story, it is a tale of fame, mistakes, love, and the courage it takes to finally admit what everyone else has been speculating about for years. Tonight, we will uncover the side of Blake Shelton he has never revealed before, the side behind the laughter, the interviews, and the confident persona. The story is filled with heartbreak, revelations, and the kind of honesty that only comes after years of avoidance. For fans and followers alike, this is a moment of truth, a confession that will change the way people see Blake forever. Blake Shelton's journey in the music industry has always been defined by success, charm, and a charisma that fans across the world admired. From his breakout songs to his role on popular television shows, he built a career that many could only dream of. Yet behind the fame, the bright lights, and the applause, Blake carried a personal life filled with struggles, pressures, and moments he often felt he could never openly discuss. For years, rumors swirled, some trivial, others deeply personal, but Blake chose silence, maintaining a public persona while privately wrestling with emotions that few could understand. At 48, the weight of that silence became increasingly difficult to bear. Close friends and colleagues noticed that he often seemed reserved when questions about his personal life came up. Interviews would be carefully navigated, smiles and laughter masking a more complicated truth. The rumors were persistent, whispers about relationships, personal decisions, and behind-the-scenes conflicts followed him like shadows. While the public saw a confident entertainer, the man beneath was dealing with anxiety, self-reflection, and the burden of secrets he could no longer ignore. Recently, Blake decided that the time had come to confront the truth, not just for the public but for himself. In private conversations and interviews, he began opening up about the rumors, revealing details that were previously speculated on but never confirmed. Some of the confessions were lighthearted, shedding new insight into misunderstandings, while others were more serious, addressing emotional challenges and life decisions that had shaped him in ways fans never imagined. What makes this revelation particularly significant is the timing. At this stage in his life, Blake is at a point where reflection becomes crucial. Success and fame cannot erase the need for honesty, and he recognized that continuing to deny or avoid the rumors was taking a toll on his mental and emotional health. Opening up has not been easy, but the act of speaking candidly represents a major turning point for him, a step toward freedom from the expectations, pressures, and scrutiny that had built over decades. Family, friends, and his team have all observed a change in him since he began confronting these rumors. There is a lighter energy, a sense of relief, and a renewed focus on what truly matters: music, personal growth, and relationships. By finally acknowledging what had been whispered about for years, Blake has reclaimed control over his narrative. He is no longer letting speculation define him. Instead, he defines the story on his terms, blending honesty with the authenticity fans have always admired. This newfound openness has also deepened his connection with fans. Social media responses reveal appreciation, empathy, and understanding, proving that honesty resonates more deeply than secrecy. Blake Shelton's decision to finally speak is not only about setting the record straight, it is a lesson in courage, vulnerability, and the importance of confronting what has been avoided for too long. By reflecting on the rumors and admitting truths, Blake demonstrates that even someone who appears untouchable on stage and on camera faces moments of internal struggle. The strength to speak out, to own his story, and to confront the personal challenges behind public perception is a reminder that fame does not exempt anyone from human vulnerability. Fans now witness a man who is not just a talented musician, but someone willing to show his humanity, honesty, and resilience. Even when it's difficult or uncomfortable, the years leading up to Blake Shelton's confession were filled with highs and lows, both professionally and personally. On stage, he exuded confidence, performing to sold-out crowds, winning awards, and collaborating with some of the biggest names in music. But behind the curtain, the pressure to maintain an image, navigate relationships, and stay ahead in the competitive industry weighed heavily on him. Rumors that circulated about his private life added another layer of stress, creating a disconnect between the public persona and the man he truly was. Friends and insiders noticed subtle signs that Blake was struggling. He often deflected personal questions, changed topics in interviews, or laughed off pointed inquiries with a practiced ease. While many fans admired his charm and humor, few understood that this shield was carefully constructed to protect himself from the intrusion and speculation that fame inevitably brings. Over time, keeping these secrets became exhausting. The rumors, some accurate and others entirely fabricated, lingered in the background, silently influencing his decisions and emotional well-being. Finally, Blake decided that enough was enough. The silence was no longer sustainable, and the act of denying speculation only heightened the pressure he felt internally. Opening up required immense courage, as he risked judgment, criticism, and misinterpretation from both the public and media. Yet the alternative, continued avoidance and mental strain, was far more damaging. His decision to confess was a turning point, demonstrating that acknowledging reality, no matter how uncomfortable, is often the first step toward healing and personal freedom. The revelations that followed surprised many. Some addressed long-standing rumors about relationships, career decisions, and personal choices, while others shed light on misconceptions that had persisted for years. By speaking openly, Blake was able to clarify misunderstandings, explain his perspective, and reveal aspects of his life that had been private for decades. This honesty allowed him to reclaim control over his story, taking ownership of both the successes and mistakes that defined his journey. Emotionally, the confession provided Blake with relief. Friends and family noticed a visible change, a lighter demeanor, increased focus, and renewed energy for his music. The weight of secrecy had been lifted, replaced by a sense of authenticity and empowerment. Fans responded with overwhelming support, demonstrating that vulnerability and honesty are often more respected than perfection. Blake's decision to finally address the rumors underscored the importance of mental and emotional well-being, showing that even high-profile figures need space. Truth and self-compassion. The confession also highlighted the complexity of life in the spotlight. Fame amplifies scrutiny, and personal matters that might seem ordinary in a private context become subjects of public debate. Blake Shelton's story illustrates the pressure of balancing career demands, personal integrity, and the human need for privacy. By confronting these challenges head-on, he set an example for others facing similar situations, that acknowledging reality and speaking truthfully can lead to liberation, understanding, and a stronger sense of self. Ultimately, Blake Shelton's choice to confess is about more than rumors. It's about reclaiming agency over his life, prioritizing emotional health, and embracing authenticity. For fans, it offers a rare glimpse behind the carefully curated public image, revealing a man who, despite immense success and fame, experiences doubt, struggle, and the desire to live truthfully. His journey reminds us all that courage is not only found on stage but also in the willingness to confront personal truths, admit mistakes, and embrace vulnerability with integrity. Blake Shelton's journey toward revealing the truth was not just a response to external pressure, it was also a deeply personal process. For years, he had carried the weight of speculation in silence, balancing the expectations of fans, colleagues, and the media with his own need for privacy. Fame, while rewarding, created an environment where every action and every relationship was scrutinized. Every rumor, whether true or false, chipped away at his sense of control, leaving him in a constant state of vigilance and caution. The act of finally speaking out required immense introspection. Blake spent countless hours reflecting on his life, his choices, and the consequences of remaining silent. He realized that denying or avoiding the truth only prolonged the internal conflict and hindered his ability to connect authentically with the people around him. The confession was as much about liberation from personal tension as it was about clarifying misunderstandings for the public. It was a courageous step toward aligning his external persona with the man he truly is. Those closest to Blake observed the emotional toll that secrecy had taken on him. Friends noticed that even in moments of laughter and camaraderie, there was an underlying weight, a tension born of unresolved questions and the constant gaze of the public. Family members witnessed his struggle to maintain balance, offering support, reassurance, and encouragement, but understanding that only Blake could decide when and how to reveal the truth. The decision to confront rumors was therefore both empowering and transformative, allowing him to reclaim emotional energy that had been trapped in years of silence. By speaking openly, Blake also challenged societal expectations placed upon celebrities. People often assume that fame equates to freedom, yet his story illustrates the opposite. Fame can magnify vulnerability, restrict honesty, and create pressure to maintain a flawless image. The courage to confront these pressures demonstrates that strength is not just measured in success or popularity, but in the ability to embrace authenticity, admit mistakes, and navigate life with honesty. His choice resonates far beyond the music industry, offering lessons about integrity, mental health, and human resilience. The public response was immediate and impactful. Fans expressed empathy, admiration, and support, showing that honesty fosters connection in a way denial never could. Comments flooded social media, praising Blake for his bravery and applauding his willingness to share what many had long speculated about. This moment marked a turning point, not only for his personal peace but for his relationship with his audience. By embracing transparency, Blake strengthened the trust and loyalty of his fans, creating a deeper bond that went beyond music and entertainment. Ultimately, this confession highlights the complex intersection of fame, personal choice, and emotional well-being. Blake Shelton's journey is a reminder that even those who appear confident, charismatic, and untouchable face internal struggles and difficult decisions. By choosing honesty over denial, he reclaimed control of his story, protected his mental health, and provided a model of courage for others facing similar challenges. It is a testament to the fact that vulnerability, when embraced with integrity, can be more powerful than any image carefully crafted for public perception. Blake's openness also signals a broader shift in celebrity culture, one where authenticity is valued over perfection, and where admitting human imperfection becomes a form of strength. His willingness to confront years of rumors, to acknowledge mistakes and emotions, and to take ownership of his narrative is a milestone in his personal and professional life. It proves that true resilience is not just surviving challenges, but actively addressing them with honesty, courage, and grace, no matter the age, stage, or spotlight. The moment Blake Shelton chose to speak openly about the rumors marked a profound turning point in his life. For years, he had balanced the expectations of fans, colleagues, and the media with his own need for privacy, often feeling trapped between truth and perception. The decision to finally address the speculation was not made lightly. It took courage, reflection, and a willingness to embrace vulnerability in a world that constantly demands perfection. By confronting the rumors, Blake reclaimed control over his narrative. What had once been sources of stress, speculation, and anxiety became opportunities for honesty, connection, and growth. He shared personal experiences, clarified misconceptions, and provided insight into the moments that had shaped his choices. These confessions were not merely about correcting public perception. They were about allowing himself to live freely without the constant weight of denial. For Blake, admitting the truth was a form of liberation, a way to align his inner self with the image presented to the world. Friends, family, and colleagues have observed a remarkable change in him since making the confessions. There is a noticeable lightness in his demeanor, a renewed focus on music and personal relationships, and an emotional clarity that had been clouded by years of rumor and speculation. By finally being honest, Blake has reclaimed not just his story, but a sense of peace that allows him to fully engage in life, work, and love. This personal transformation underscores the importance of authenticity, self-respect, and courage in navigating the pressures of fame. The public response has been overwhelmingly supportive. Fans praised his honesty, expressing admiration for the courage it took to confront decades of speculation head-on. The outpouring of empathy demonstrates that audiences value transparency and human vulnerability more than a perfect image. In choosing to speak, Blake strengthened his bond with his fans, showing that even celebrities with immense talent and success face challenges, doubts, and the need to make peace with their past. Beyond personal relief, Blake's confession carries a powerful message about the nature of fame and human resilience. It highlights the mental and emotional costs of living under constant scrutiny and the strength required to speak out honestly, despite fear of judgment or criticism. His story is a testament to the importance of self-acceptance, demonstrating that vulnerability and courage are integral to growth and personal fulfillment. By embracing truth, Blake Shelton sets an example for others navigating public perception, showing that integrity and authenticity can coexist with fame and success. In the end, this of Blake's life is not defined by the rumors themselves, but by his response to them. Choosing to confront speculation with honesty, reflection, and courage has transformed an emotionally taxing experience into an opportunity for empowerment. Blake's journey reminds us all that the path to authenticity requires bravery, self-awareness, and the willingness to face difficult truths. It proves that real strength is measured not just by talent or achievement, but by the ability to be honest, vulnerable, and true to oneself. Regardless of public opinion, Blake Shelton's confession is more than a revelation, it is a celebration of resilience, courage, and human authenticity. By finally addressing the rumors that followed him for years, he has not only freed himself from the burden of secrecy, but also inspired others to embrace honesty, confront challenges, and live with integrity. His story resonates because it is real, emotional, and profoundly human, reminding us all that the greatest victories often lie in the quiet act of choosing truth over denial.